not going to give background. If you care to go back in it, I hope you do. I'm finishing reading this. This one had to be an article in Roanoke Times, I guess. I've been telling about the other in Hustler magazine. I will show that because everybody knows Larry Flint was shot, and this part has to do with April of '84. And my goodness, it's just about gone. But anyway, he mentions Larry McDonald here, and that I know who was responsible for his shooting in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I was living at Moonraker in Marietta doing the book MD License to Kill about programming and mind control. So anyway, I want to get back to this. They're saying about me living on the Appalachian Trail, and you don't get any of the truth. You seriously don't. In '94, Flint wrote actually it was '84. I just showed you. Flint read the editorial in Hustler. Childers keeps the editorial. Yeah, I just showed it to you. With her belongings, often taking them out to show those who will listen. You know why I did? Because I'm threatened to be locked up. I couldn't get jobs. Anything I did, tried to say, I mean, they muffled me. They would say it was crazy and they were going to lock me up. Okay, rather than being able to get an attorney, which I did get one here, legal aid, some years back. He Xeroxed everything. He was, at least they said he was. I can't remember his name now. I almost can get it. Anyway, he was gone. He moved. I mean, it's so hideous. Childers keeps the editorial with her belongings, often taking them out to show people, trying to get them to listen and help. And you know what they do? Most of them all around here know it anyway. They have. Hikers call her Crazy Margaret or the Queen of England. They have complained to the Roanoke Appalachian Trail Club that her belongings take up most of the shelters and reduce the sleeping capacity from 8 to 4. You should also see what the Appalachian Trail, wouldn't it be something if they made a movie of this? Wouldn't that be nice? You finally forced the truth down everybody's throats, and they had to see just what a nice country this is. All these nice people living in nice homes. Donald NULPH, president of the club, says he worries for, listen to this, children's safety as well as the safety of hikers. And now that I'm supposed to be what? I've never hurt anybody in my life. And if you ever see the ongoing, what's been done to me, for God's sake, it is the saddest thing to even infer. She doesn't appear to be violent, he says, but we really never know when that might change. Sometimes hikers give children food. You know what they've given me? They've spit in peanut butter. They've spit in, well, I'm wrong. You can imagine. Which has become part of the problem, like I'm this bear or deer. Nope, in ULPH says, we want to discourage that. It only encourages her to stay. But Childers wouldn't leave even if she was starving. You know, there's another way to look at this, the truth, that I went through hell because of being born, kidnapped, and who did the crimes ongoing. I'm a nice lady with the most giving heart. But, you know, there reaches a time when you look back and you think, my God, all these crimes and all this they say about me and lies. Now I want to get to this part. I think I showed that on the others. This is one I just got. I'm trying to, if you know what I've been telling, validates to a degree what I'm saying, some part of it. I have told about murders being done in patterns in mind control. They using mind control, and they were done deliberately because mind control is invisible. And it's hard to prove. In these you can, but then you're going to tell the story about this country and its connection to my Uncle George's illegal sex, and all this mess, and the Kennedys, and why they covered it up, the Warren Commission covered it up, and all that. But anyway, this is a letter I'd been telling about everywhere I went. They run me with chemicals. I have an immune disorder, and it's horrible. That's the only illness I have, immune disorder, and when I'm in close to toxic fumes, which they've kept me in when like this little place here, and I'm not going to go into that again. My God, I'm going to have to leave from here. At the end of this, I'm going to show you my legs that weren't like this. And this does this to your insides, your heart. It's horrible. This happened over a couple of nights, and this has been ongoing, but whatever they use, it's freezing, but there's something else. And my veins, when I get around freezing, they've used that before, but when I get around it, my legs will burn in veins. Some veins are broken, but just in the last 3 days, and I'll have to leave. And then my money's gone. I just bought food like a normal person would to try to get by and put it in that little fridge, and I'll have to leave it. I'm going to pay 2 motel rooms or places to live at one time, which is what I've had to do, and kept penniless. But I'm going to read this because I've tried to tell people, as in Scott Peterson, and this tells you how the programming in mind control, and that Edward Snowden only touched the tip of the iceberg. He didn't mention mind control in all this. They can mass mind control armies right now. But they use my sons Mark and Scott's names in some of it, and I've shown part of that, like the two. Well, I'm talking about mind control murders, so they've shown what I was trying to show was the use of Mark and Scott. I had a picture, and I don't have it right at the moment I can put up, but it's they've used my son's name, Mark and Scott, and the Gabby Gifford in Tucson, Arizona. And, of course, she was married to Mark Kelly, who's a twin to Scott Kelly, who's an astronaut. And anyway, that was like Aurora, Colorado, and James Holmes, and they're treating him for being mentally ill. Mental illness has nothing to do with mind control. To feed him psychotic drugs is the sickest thing anybody. It's torture beyond belief. I will say this. Somebody did. I don't have her name, and I wouldn't put it up anyway. Somebody responded to me. Some of these are flat out, you can prove them. That's what it was meant to do. But Russell Yates' wife, this is in 01. That one can be proven. This lady wrote me back, though. She saw what I put up on YouTube. And she emailed me back, and she said that she had been a friend of, what was her name, Yates? I forgot, Andrea. And, you know, they got her in a mental hospital. She drowned her kids, and everybody hates her guts. She was programmed. Susan Smith was programmed in South Carolina to run her 2 sons off in the lake and drown them. She's in prison. You know what, though, that I've come to find out? If I had approached either one of these women and started talking about mind control, they would have told me to get away, get away. It's only when it happens to them. And this is what one of the agents said to me. He didn't mention, he said, what you're telling bores them, and he pretended to yawn. He said it's only when they find out how it affects them that they care. So I'm going to read this. You get the use of Scott and Mark, and I mean, that's, and by the way, yeah, I have faxed, and there is to Scott Peterson's attorney, Mark Garvis, who I think is a nice attorney, man. I don't know what he could have, anyway, done with it. But anyway, this is to me, and what happened out here, I can't take pictures of fumes and toxic fumes and all that, and people coming in and spraying my bed and then telling you you're crazy or you know, or threatening to lock you up. No, it's just not happening. They should be locked up. But this one, the HUD, that I've used those because it keeps it. I'd have to break leases, and that looks bad for me. And you don't tell this to try to get people to understand. They'll just tune you out, and you learn